Hi, it's Will from StormTheCastle.com, and here on YouTube you know me as, what, Epic Fantasy, that's right. And it's my latest tutorial. This is a foam board sword project from the movie Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. Fun project. Alright, comes out really good. This is foam board, a wooden dowel, and just a few extra little tidbits. I give you the template, makes it easy for you to make, and you can have this done in no time at all. I had a lot of fun doing it, although I had to try several different times to get it right. It took me quite a few times to finally get this sword right, but it really came out good. So let's launch. Let's do the introduction, and then let's launch right into it. Let's launch into the how to make the Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, Repeat helicopter blade sword. Thank you. I love this sword. It's really good. Dioramas, origami, catapults, and trebuchets, telescopes, terrariums, bonsai trees, and paper games, swords and shields, and real blacksmithing, model rockets, animation. I teach the art of real creation. StormTheCastle.com. Let's make something.
On your feet, maggot! On your feet, maggot! On your feet, maggot! On your feet, maggot! 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 I'm trying to be nice to you, maggot. Now move!
Okay, the first thing you do is you cut yourself out the two blade pieces. The dimensions on how to do this are in the template, and you can find that in the link in the description of this video. And then cut yourself a piece of wooden dowel or a broomstick that's at least an inch and a half thick, and cut it 14 inches long. Now we're going to put a slot in the end of it like this so it will fit onto the blade. So measure the thickness of those two foam boards and cut the slot about the same. And how you cut a slot is first you drill a hole in the bottom of it, the very end of the slot, and then you cut it out with a saw. See, that's very nice. And that slot is an inch and a half deep. So you can make yours an inch and a half deep or 2 inches deep. Somewhere around there will be nice. Actually, the deeper it is, the better this will hold to the sword blade. And then pop that piece of wood out if it doesn't come out readily. There you go. And if you haven't done it already, glue together those two pieces of the blade. And then we can glue the handle right onto it like this. And put plenty of glue on both sides, top and bottom. And then force that handle onto there, right about in the center. Just like that. Looks good. It's going to hold really well, because the blade itself isn't that heavy. And put extra glue on it. We're going to actually cover all of this with the bolt plate. I call it the bolt plate. So now the bolt plate. These are two spacers, and these are pieces that are in the template. But adjust it if you didn't use an inch and a half dowel. Two spacers like this. And then the bolt plate goes right on top. Just like that. Looks good. Alright, so flip it over and do the bolt plate on the other side too. Two spacers and the bolt plate. And if you use a larger dowel, you may need to add an extra spacer. Just keep that in mind. Now we're going to do all the various parts of the handle. So we'll start with the collar that is like the guard. There's like two parts to the guard. So I use the dowel, the handle, to form a circle. And traced around it to form a circle. That way I knew the size of it. Do the same thing. And then I cut a donut kind of like shape. Sand it smooth. And you could get it smoother if you want. And then glue it on just like that. That's the first piece that goes on there. It's a collar guard. And then we do a square one that's a little bit smaller than that round one. And these are 1-inch thick pieces of foam. We go ahead and cut that out. And glue that on there once we sand it. Very nice. One more foam piece remains, and that is the pommel. Now this is a 2-inch thick piece of foam. And if you only have inch thick foam, you can glue 2 sheets together. And go on like that, and that's it. Looks good. Couple of small details, but first let's paint it. Any hardware store sells a camouflage flat paint, which is very nice. Alright, a couple of small details. Cut yourself some slivers of foam into hexagonal shapes with a pair of scissors, and those are the bolts. 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. Now let's paint it. I used painter's tape. You don't have to use painter's tape, but it makes for crisper lines. The handle, center section of the handle is silver. The pommel is silver. And the guard and the square guard nut, like that, is silver. That's all the silver. Everything else is black, including the bolts and the bolt plate. And the outer edges of the handle, both the top and bottom of the handle, I guess you could call it. Now the only thing remaining is the stenciling, military-style mil-spec stenciling on the blade, like this. And how you do that is you keep spaces in the numbers and the letters and like that. See the space? That's because it's like a stencil. So I had fun with that. I used just a white pencil. You'd use white paint if you want. And this is actually optional. You don't even have to do this. But that's it. It's done. You can spray it with some kind of a sealant if you want. But it looks good. Fast, easy project. A lot of fun to do. Thanks for watching this video. I had fun shooting it. And here's a couple more projects. I got 600 projects. But there's a couple more you might like. There's the Captain America shield and the hammer of Thor. Thank you.